In this video, I am going to provide you with a few things to think about and would appreciate any comments you have about them in the comment area. And this will be a two-part video. In the first part of the video, I will be talking about a replacement product for a concrete footing that is made out of plastic and sits on top of uncompacted soil and will work as well or better than a concrete footing that is going to be setting on top of well-compacted soil. And I'm not about to suggest that there aren't going to be reasons why you're not going to install a concrete footing. And one of those might be because you're dealing with deep frost line where you might need to go 5 or 6 feet down into the ground. But if you do, I just want to make consumers aware of some of the things they might not be mentioning at their websites or in their product installation literature. So if I do end up setting a footing that's made out of concrete, plastic, or whatever kind of materials on top of uncompacted soil, you just need to be aware of the fact that it could sink into the soil, or erosion could come and go underneath the footing, around the footing, and remove some of the soil underneath your footing and allow it to sink into the ground. And of course, once it sinks into the ground, you now have a deck that is out of level and in some cases might not be safe to walk on. And some of you might consider solving the problem by adding more of these footings to support your beams or other deck framing support members. And if that's the case, I would like to throw this one out there. You might end up with a situation where you have one of them supporting more than the others, especially if some of them sink into the ground and leave two of them supporting most of the weight anyway. So you might have this one supporting the weight and this one, and the others aren't doing anything. Now, some of you are probably thinking, can't this also happen to a concrete footing? And it can, but the chances of it happening are going to be a little bit less if they're buried a little bit deeper in the ground. For example, you might not be dealing with as much of a problem with erosion or soil compaction as you will with something that's just sitting on top of the soil. And of course, some of you are probably thinking, well, hey, why not bury some of these to where they're sitting on top of the compacted soil? And I don't have a problem with that as long as the manufacturer allows you to do that. Another problem that I've noticed with some of these products is that they're not going to provide you with the minimum distance of 6 inches between the lumber and the soil. And this is a common building code used for a variety of different outdoor or exterior sections of a house, including a deck. And the last thing I want to mention is that I noticed some of these don't have any connecting points, like the building hardware here that's going to allow the beam to be connected to the concrete footing securely. And if this happens and there's a strong enough wind to raise the deck, you could end up with the deck falling off of the supports or end up with some type of a hammering effect as the deck pounds the beam and the footings that are sitting on top of the soil a little further each time into the ground. And if you're using the product and it's working out great for you, you've had it in the ground for a few years or even a few decades, let us know. And in the second part of the video, I'm just going to show you a few products that homeowners have used, and I'm afraid to say professionals, contractors, architects, that might not work as well as the product manufacturers suggested. Because I've noticed over the past 4 decades that I've been in business, there have been quite a few products that have came and went. And I think we're going to end up dealing with even more problems in the future from people who are currently promoting products and construction methods that won't last for decades, like some of these other construction products and methods that we've used in the past. And I think one of the easiest ways to avoid being disappointed from the newest, most innovative, hyped up construction products on the market today will be to only purchase products that have been successfully time tested. Don't buy their products and do all of their testing for them. I've seen this too many times. If it's only been available for less than a few years, don't get it. I think we're going to to even have problems in the future from people making their own lumber. I see this all the time. And some homeowners' insurance companies won't be paying for any of your home repairs if the lumber doesn't have a stamp on it. It's going to provide them with another avenue to get out of paying for something. Another thing you need to do if you do purchase a newer product is follow the manufacturer's installation instructions. This is another problem I ran into while doing home repairs and remodeling. I would be called to someone's house to fix something, and while removing the damaged materials, find out that it wasn't installed correctly to begin with. Next up, don't get caught up in deceptive advertising sales pitches like limited lifetime warranties that you probably won't ever be able to use because these warranties have so many loopholes in them and ways to get out of honoring those warranties. And that reminds me of a time when I called a popular window manufacturer who had a limited lifetime warranty on their windows, only to find out they weren't going to do anything about the problem I was having because they said the window wasn't installed to their specific installation instructions. Another thing would be to use common sense. I look at it like this. If the product is cheap and easy to replace, like a doorknob, wood trim, or a light switch cover, then you don't need to do any research, or you don't need to do much research about the products, because if they fail, you're going to be able to replace them fairly easy and without spending a lot of money. However, that's not going to be the case if you have to repair waterproofing materials that were put on a basement and buried 10 feet in the ground, or plumbing pipes, electrical wire, heating ducts, anything that has been installed under your house, in your walls, floors, ceilings, or roofs that will not be easy to repair or replace. And for those of you who might not be old enough to remember, some of these product failures that cost homeowners millions, if not billions of dollars, were aluminum wiring, hardboard siding, often referred to as masonite siding, metal roofing, wood roofing that caught on fire, and let's not forget products that had asbestos in it, and of course the ultimate product failure of them all, the worst one I could possibly think of, would be lead paint. That was responsible for numerous health problems for decades. And I think the moral to this story is simple, even though I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. If you made it this far in the video, then there's a good chance you're not going to be purchasing products that haven't been time tested, and you won't be getting caught up in deceptive advertisements, and you'll even be using some common sense. And most important of all, you will actually read the manufacturer's installation instructions so that you can install them correctly. And hopefully this information makes you a better consumer. We've got to quit getting caught up in the hype that's all over the internet about different construction products or construction methods that somehow seem easier, cheaper, and better, when in reality they might not be. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, let us know by hitting the thumbs up button or letting us know in the comment area.